All right, guys, on to what you're here for this week. This is going to be a mini review because I've got a lot of ground to cover. But today we're going to talk about 1997's Anaconda. This is just a fun creature feature, and I saw it was leaving Tubi, here at the end of June, and so I'm like, you know what? Let's review it. This thing was filmed in Brazil, and I've got a lot of new Brazilian friends. But everyone who watches Drew reviews can appreciate a movie about, giant snakes in the Amazon. Uh, So let's get into the plot here. You've got this documentary crew. You've got Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube and Owen Wilson. And I heard one reviewer say that Owen Wilson in this movie just has this punchable face. And I couldn't agree more, not just in this movie, but any movie. And they're traveling down the Amazon in search of these mist people. And they get so far down, and in the storm, they find John Voight's character, Paul Ceron. And I just have to say, John Voight in this movie is easily the best and the worst thing about Anaconda. He needs a mustache that he's just constantly twirling because it's just so bad. He screams, "Hey, I'm the villain in this thing." But as they're floating down the Amazon, these giant anacondas start taking out members of the crew. They take out the captain, Mateo, who was Spider Monkey in the Crow City of Angels. In the very beginning, Danny Trejo makes an appearance, and he's about to get eaten by one of these things, and so chooses to take his own life. You've got the character Saran, who wants to capture one of these anacondas alive. And so they've got this huge boat, and so he starts sabotaging things. And, he puts this wasp down the breathing apparatus of Eric Stoltz's character, which I like Eric Stoltz and just about everything he's been in. I think he's a good actor. I wish he was in this movie more. But at this point, it's well established that Saran's doing the sabotaging on this boat. But he's got this look, it's like this upside down smile that he keeps doing just to remind the audience that he's evil. He's even laying in a hammock at one point and doing it. He's even sleeping evil. Yeah, I love that Dio album, Dream Evil. Maybe that's what he was doing. But he ends up turning Owen Wilson's character, Gary, and telling him they'll make all kinds of money if they bring the snake in alive. And so Gary turns on his crew, and Ice Cube's in this thing. And normally I don't like him in a movie. Because he was in NWA, he's always this tough guy, and I just don't buy it. I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but I don't know that I would back down from Ice Cube in a fight. But he actually didn't bother me in this movie. I actually found myself liking his character quite a bit. But the Anacondas end up getting Gary and the guy who is doing the voiceover work for the documentary. And one thing I like about this movie, the Anacondas, when they do them practically, when they've actually made the snakes and they're moving them, probably with levers or whatever, those look really good. The CGI anacondas in this movie, not so much. And I read somewhere that for every second a CGI snake you see on this movie, it cost them $100,000 to produce that. And that's just, for what they got, that's insane. They probably did those effects in '96, so I guess I can see that. But that's a crazy amount of money for an effect that does not hold up, especially compared to those animatronic effects. So they end up running out of fuel and then heading back upriver. And so Cerrone at this point is just a full-fledged bad guy. And so Lopez and Ice Cube are trying to take him out. And the last act of this movie is a lot of fun. You've got him trying to sabotage them. You've got the anacondas coming from both sides. And it does make for a very exciting last act. In the beginning of this movie, we get this text scroll that's telling us all these facts about anacondas, some of which aren't true. But there is this one part in this text scroll that talks about how anacondas can regurgitate up their prey so they can eat them again. And when I saw this, I looked over at my wife and I said, this is going to happen in the movie. The only reason they put that in that text scroll is so that an anaconda can puke up probably whoever the bad guy is and eat them again. This is exactly what happens. I'm going to go ahead and spoil the movie for you because, this is a 26-year-old movie. You should have seen it if you're clicking on this. The anaconda gets Cerrone and ends up vomiting him back up and at Lopez's feet. And he's covered in bile. And in one more villainous twist, he winks at her. It's just, guys, this is too much. We get that he's evil, but the wink just put it over the top. In the last scene of the movie, after all this hell's broken loose, they do end up seeing the mist people. And I guess they salvaged their documentary. But like I said, Lopez is pretty good. And amazingly coming from me, Ice Cube is pretty good. John Voight, my goodness. He's just chewing the scenery. and it kind of took me out of the movie because he's got this Latin American accent. He kind of doing the Tony Montana, and at times his New York comes through, and it's brutal. Yeah, he's trying to talk like this Latin person, and you hear Queens or wherever he's from. I don't know, but it took me out of the movie. It made me laugh, and to be honest, I've not laughed this much since my Hands of Steel review a couple of months ago. But yeah, I appreciate this movie for that. The score is pretty good in this movie for the most part. I really like the Amazon setting. It's really cool and something you don't get to see a lot in movies. This thing is just a glorified $45 million creature feature. And I love that they put that much money into it. Does it hold up today? The CGI, not so much. The animatronics, yes. I'm going to give this thing a 5.5 out of 10. It's fun. It's not great. It's probably not even good, but it's entertaining crap. And so I can appreciate it for that if I just want to put a movie on and have a laugh. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for Anaconda. Leave your rating down in the comments section for me and let me know what you would rate it. So guys, before I go, I recently had a birthday and I want to show you my birthday DVD and Blu-ray haul. There's a few of these here, so we'll just blow through them real quick and I'll give you my thoughts. And the first of which is Rapid Fire. Went ahead and bought the DVD of this because the Blu-ray is pretty expensive. It's like $20. But yeah, I got this DVD for just a little over half that. So I've only ever watched this movie once, and I thought it was pretty good back in the day, but I was really young then, so I'm going to see if it holds up. But I love Brandon Lee, and as I've said in other videos, he was on his way up, and I think he would have been Neo for The Matrix. And it's kind of interesting. If he was that character, who would have played John Wick, this last decade? So that's interesting to think about. Powers Booth is in this movie, and Powers Booth is one of my favorite villain actors of all time. So, yeah, expect to see probably this fall or this coming winter Rapid Fire. I put it on a poll. It didn't place very high because I don't think a lot of people know about this movie. But when I went to ordering movies for my birthday, I was like, yeah, I'm getting Rapid Fire this year. So, yeah, expect to see that. Coming up next is one I've already reviewed. I got this a few weeks ago. This is a double feature. It's Stallone and Cobra and Tango and Cash with the greatest actor of our generation or any generation, Kurt Russell. And I got this because I'd promised everybody a Cobra review, and it turns out I didn't have a streaming service that Cobra was actually on, so I was like, oh, crap. So I want to say I got this from like a Goodwill site or something. But anyway, so yeah, I've done Cobra. I might do Tango and Cash. It's not my favorite movie featuring either one of these actors, so we'll see what happens there. The other DVD I got is this movie here. This is 1993's Ghost in the Machine, and I've never actually seen this movie. I can remember the trailer for this back in the day. I used to watch WCW Saturday Night in the early to mid 90s, before Nitro became a thing. And they would show all these like mid-level movie trailers during the show. And Ghost in the Machine is one of them. I can remember that. They would show like all the Van Damme trailers. And, this has Karen Allen, who I love, from Raiders and from Starman. Chris Mulkey, who is that first villain in The Hidden. So yeah, I've always wanted to see this. I might do it this upcoming winter. We'll see what happens there. The rest of these are Blu-rays, and I had to get this one. I spent $4 on this one. This is Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn. It was an honorable mention in my 1987 video. Probably should have been in that top 5, but I love that original artwork. And this one's coming probably this fall. I'll talk about it. I just really love this movie. I don't know if you would call this or you call Army of Darkness Bruce Campbell's best performance, but it's one of the two, and I can't wait to dig into this one. Coming up next is a movie that I just mentioned in my latest Ask Drew when I was asked what my favorite B movies were, and I had to get this movie. It's so much fun. Me and the guys over at Macho Movie Madness did a review of this like back in 2019. But we did like 4 or 5 reviews where they never aired. I think they got lost in time. This is Deadly Prey. This movie is ridiculous. We are going to do a review of this fairly soon. It's probably coming this fall as well. It's basically a play on the Deadliest Game where they're hunting this guy and they accidentally grab an ex-Vietnam vet and it goes full on Rambo. And the acting is terrible. That scene where he cuts off the guy's arm and beats him to death with it. I really enjoy this movie. It's fun to maybe have a drink and some pizza and laugh at. It's really love Deadly Prey. And the last movie from my birthday Blu-ray and DVD haul is one of my favorites. I'm going to do this sometime soon. Um, this is like my fourth favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and they had this on the Walmart website. And with my Walmart Plus, I got it for like $4.90, including shipping. And this is the Steelbook of Total Recall, featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just it's gorgeous. Just absolutely love it. Um, Steel books are really cool. I don't know what place they have in my collection. I've got one for this and one for RoboCop, but Total Recall is one of my favorite movies. It was my top movie of 1990. If you've seen that video, if you've not, spoilers there. But yeah, I saw this and it was under $5, and it's just like brand new, and I got to get this. So uh, it's from a Philip K. Dick novel. We can remember it for you wholesale, and I love all those that got turned into movies like Blade Runner and Screamers and this. But this was kind of the crown jewel of the entire haul for under $5. So yeah, Total Recall is a fun movie. It's probably even more fun than you remember. So go check it out. So guys, thank you for sticking with me through the end of this video. Be sure, if you're a subscriber to this channel, to get your pick in the comments section, and I will draw that out of a hat and let you know next week who ended up winning that review. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe, and you can get your pick in there as well. And as always, I'm Andrew, and I'll see you down the line.